I thought it was back there, the smell of it.
It was Mersini Blanchard's first clue.
Sasha, like it, come on. I would take my dogs for a long walk, and I kept smelling it. I can't even tell you how bad it was. Makes you sick in your stomach, it's so bad.
That smell was coming from a newly built chicken farm, just over a mile away from her Malakoff home in Henderson County, 70 miles southeast of Dallas.
We had no idea they'd even built the 16 barns or even knew they were there until we started smelling the odors. Just a terrible odor was in the air.
Mersini's son, Frank Blanchard, built his house for his mom in 2013.
She's so pretty.
Yeah.
The family home sits on 1,200 acres of land. Blanchard says the value of the property plunged 75% when the chicken farm and the smell moved in.
I was going to be stuck with a piece of property here that would basically be worthless.
Frustrated, the Blanchards and their neighbors banded together to file a nuisance lawsuit. They asked that the operation be shut down. A jury sided with the landowners, and a judge ordered it to close. Now, almost 2 years later, neighbors worry the smells could return. Sanderson Farms, which supplies chickens to the farm, has appealed to the Texas Supreme Court. So if you lose, what do you think will happen?
Well, losing is not an option, because if I lose, this whole area is going to be destroyed.
If the neighbors in Henderson County were to lose, it would absolutely embolden Sanderson Farms. I think what you'll see is a domino effect of barns popping up all over East Texas.
WFAA has found the Blanchards are among a growing number of Texans who have filed nuisance lawsuits against Sanderson Farms, the nation's third largest poultry producer.
I am fighting for rural Texans that I don't even know. I am fighting for everybody.
Sanderson Farms told us in an email that it would not discuss any pending litigation. But in court filings, the company said if the farm operation can't reopen, no rational investor will risk investing substantial resources knowing even a temporary problem can lead to the permanent loss of the investment.
People have the right to use their property, generate a profit potentially from that property. There's always been a catch, though, that you can't use your property in such a way that destroys your neighbor's quality of life.
These images are graphic, and they were taken by a former Sanderson Farms employee at chicken farms throughout East Texas. They are part of a lawsuit he filed alleging bad working conditions. The chicken farms are what's known as concentrated animal feeding operations. Sanderson Farms uses barns like these all over Texas to grow chickens. The chickens are owned by Sanderson Farms. The barns, however, are owned by contractors hired by the company to grow the chickens.
Do you maybe want to go outside and play in a minute?
Mm-hmm. Emily Martinez and her family live just over a half a mile away from the Malakoff farm operation.
You think you can go super high? We put everything into making this what we wanted, and then the chicken farm moved in. Anytime we smelt it, we just had to pack up and go back inside. Sometimes it would stay for hours.
You have a chicken for each and every square foot in that barn, using the bathroom for 60 days, and it's not cleaned out, correct?
That's correct.
Can you understand, sir, how it could be devastating to find out that a chicken farm is next door and it prevents you from even going outside? Can you understand that?
That's subjective.
Can you understand? Do you have empathy for them at all?
We want to be good. We want our producers to be good neighbors.
Good morning, Mr. Frank. This is Steve Wynn.
Yeah, Steve.
This is a recording of a call between the chicken farmer and Frank Blanchard, shortly before the neighbors filed a lawsuit in 2017.
I don't set the chicken out against the rules, so.
Okay. So part of the rules is you can stink up your neighbor's property.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that, but that's what you're doing.
He did not care what he was doing to me, my family, or our neighbors out here.
I had to talk to somebody else about you stinking up my property.
Yes, sir, because I just follow the rules.
Have you ever had any odor control training?
Yes, sir.
How many classes have you attended?
Once, sir.
One class. How long was that class?
3 to 4 hours, sir.
Testimony showed that Sanderson Farms did turn in a required plan to control the odors to regulators, but didn't give the plan to the operators for months.
So how in the world would Sanderson implement an odor control plan on property they don't own, on chicken barns they don't own, with employees they don't employ?
Hello, anybody here?
The contract farmers did not respond to our phone calls or letters. And after repeated odor complaints from neighbors, state environmental investigators had issued the Malakoff farm operation 10 air quality notices of violation. The state investigator wrote he could smell the odor inside a moving vehicle with the air conditioning on and the windows rolled up. The case went to trial in October 2019. A top-ranking Sanderson Farms official testified during the trial that the farmers followed their policies and no changes were planned. However, at the end of 3 weeks of testimony, the neighbors won. Jurors awarded the neighbors almost $6 million. Ronald Repp was one of those jurors.
Come on, Scott. Everybody was happy until the stink. So if the chicken farm gets shut down forever, that'll make me happy for them.
In the end, the neighbors all agreed they didn't want the $6 million jury award. Instead, they asked that the chicken farm operation be shut down, and a judge ordered it to close.
And that's what they wanted, was to be free of the smell, to enjoy their properties again, have their lives back. That was far more important and had far more value than any check that Sanderson could ever write.
In Malakoff, I'm Tanya Iser.